What's up everybody? Welcome to the channel. We're working on a 2011 Subaru Forester. In a previous video, we installed a tow hitch. In this video, we'll be putting in an external transmission cooler. All right, this is the kit we'll be using. D-Rail Performance, number 13502. This is what comes in the kit. We have a rubber hose, some hose clamps, some adapting the cooler itself, and some general instructions. Now these instructions are not specifically for a Subaru, they're just in general how to mount this transmission cooler. All right, that's the kit we'll be installing. But why might you want an external transmission cooler? Well, now that this has a tow hitch, it's going to be hauling more often. When you're towing, that extra weight adds or increases the heat inside the transmission. By having an external or additional transmission cooler, you help keep that transmission fluid cool, therefore prolonging the life of your transmission. Now, if you're not towing, the factory transmission cooler should be sufficient enough. But if you are towing, maybe that's something to think about, adding an external or an additional transmission cooler. Now, I'll be straight up, I've never done one of these on a Subaru, so in a way, we'll be learning together. So we're going to be installing the transmission cooler close to the radiator, but on this side of the radiator. So we have to figure out a way to get access in between this little spot here. So let me figure out how to pull off this bumper skin. Not sure if we have to pull the whole thing off or just this top off. So let me figure that out. So I already know I have to remove these top clips. I'm going to start there. Having something like this works really well. Usually. Yeah, that one came out easy. Looks like maybe, but maybe not. I don't want to break anything. I don't think it's designed to be separated. I can see little tabs and stuff in there, but there's just no room to get your hand in there. So the whole bumper skin might have to come off. Yeah, that's not really designed to come off on its own. So let's pull the whole bumper skin. Now I could look at a manual, that'd be the smartest thing, but I'm just gonna visually see what may need to come off. So far it looks like just a bunch of clips underneath too. Easy to get to and identify. All right, so I got all the visible clips off. I don't know if I have to pull the headlights off or not. Let me just do it, some exploratory surgery, and then you guys will know if you have to or not. So there's that 10 millimeter and then this little clip. And then, interesting. So apparently you can't get these headlights off without pulling the bumper skin. So that lets me know that you do not have to pull these off to get the bumper skin off, because the bumper skin has to come off to get this off. So the order is this first. So now is the time to look at a manual. Just so you guys can see it. So we got those top clips. That's these clips up here. And then we got these bottom clips. You can see them. Pretty easy to see and get to. Then there's a fender clip. It looks like there's just one that they're pointing to in the wheel well. That might be the one I'm missing. And then it talks about disconnecting the fog lights. If you have them, this vehicle doesn't. And then just remove the bumper face. And that's it. So we almost figured it out on our own. All right, so let me show you this clip. It's kind of special right here. I don't know if you've ever seen a Toyota clips, but you push the center in, push it in, and then it'll pop out. You just kind of wiggle it out. There, that comes out, and then this whole bumper, you just pull out on it like that. Let me move you out a little, and you can see it. You just pull out on the skin, and it just pops out, and that's it. So this side is off. Let me go do the other side. So I believe that's all the clips. Now we just pull out There we go. Then the whole skin comes off. All right, so that's the room we need. All right, so now we're under the vehicle on the driver's side. These are the two transmission cooler lines. It goes from the steel into the rubber. And then if you follow it, let's see, get some lighting. Let me turn on the light. There we go. You can see that one right here is the closest one that we'll use. So how it's gonna work is we'll pull it off right here, run a new hose from this metal line out here in front of our radiator into the external transmission cooler. Then from the external transmission cooler, route it back through along here and then into this right here. So then it's an extra transmission cooler. So we'll still be using the factory transmission cooler inside the radiator along with the external. So let me first take this off right here and plug in our hose that they gave us and then route it up towards the front. I think that'll be our first move. All right, so I got this hose. This is the one that came in the kit. It's just snaked in between the radiator and the front, just so it's accessible. I'm gonna pull off this hose. It's the one towards the rear of the vehicle, not the one in the front. Just pull off the clamp. Give it a twist. There we go, and then pull it off. And then you'll get some fluid to drip out, so have something underneath to catch it. There we go. So now we can put our line on right over the top of it. Make sure you have a hose clamp on it already and just push it on. Twisting sometimes helps. There we go. And it doesn't have to be all the way up as far as the factory one, but as close as you can get it is good. You just want enough to get a hose clamp on it. And then we'll tighten her down. All right. And the hose clamp doesn't have to be ridiculously tight either. All right, so that's done. All right, so I have it just coming up right through here. I don't know if you can see it right there, but right there is the hose just coming up. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna mount it like this, and it has to clear this bracket here, but then it also has to clear that right there. So the bottom has to clear it, so it has to come up enough for that, and then the top. So something like that. So I cut the hose to length, and then with the hose, you don't want it kinked. So if you go under, oh, where is it? Right there. Right there. So it's not super tight, so it's kinked, and it can even bend maybe a little more than that. Ow, I hit my head on the table. But anyway, yeah, you just don't want it kinked. And then you don't want it rubbing on anything sharp. So we'll just have to make sure that once we mount it to our transmission cooler, that it's not hitting on anything. And if it is hitting on anything, then we'll have to figure out how to solve that. So for the top one, I don't know if I have enough hose. So what I'm gonna do is put it in the top first. And you could do that for the bottom as well. What I'm doing to put the hose on is just some silicone paste. Just as a lubricant. You can use it whatever lubricant you want to use, but I find silicone paste is just easy to apply. A little on the nipple and then a little in the hose. Put a hose clamp on and then put the hose on. There we go. So I'm not gonna clamp it yet. I'm gonna make sure that this is even long enough to do what we want it to do. Feed it through. Perfect, so it is long enough, plenty of length. So before cutting that down there, I'm gonna mount this just the way it is. in a good spot. And then I can pull on the hose and make it the exact length that I want it to be. All right, so they give you these in the kit. So what we want to do is get our foam, pop the little center out of the foam, pull our paper off the foam, and that's going to go on the back. So my arm's going to be in the way for the first one. I'll show you in a second. Line this back up and put it on the top. Here, let me show you. So you can see how I have it. This through the hole, and then the styrofoam in between the cooler and the condenser. And then this will just get pushed through the fins on the other side, and then we'll put these caps on, and that locks it all into place. Okay, so I pulled these two clips off to get this off. And then I pulled the radiator supports off. They just look like this with a 12mm bolt. So just one 12mm bolt. They pop off and separate. Now we can move the radiator forward. I don't know if you can see in there. Maybe you can, maybe not. But we can get to the back of the condenser a lot easier. It's because we don't need to go through the radiator and the condenser, just the condenser. Then we can put that cap on, and that'll secure our transmission cooler. Now you can see it sticking out here, and then it's held on. Hopefully the lighting kind of sucks, but here, let me have a flashlight. Duh. There. So that's what it looks like, and then we just cut the excess off, and then we'll do that to all of them. So I just have that one in for right now. All right, this is what it looks like. So you can see how the little styrofoam piece, maybe you can see it there, how it goes in between the cooler and the condenser, and you have that on all of them, all sides. Then I have my lines just routed through, hose clamped. Now that hose clamp at the bottom, I have that extra stuff right here just sticking straight up. I didn't curl it over because I didn't want it to rub on that. Let me turn my light down a little. I didn't want it to rub on the condenser and put a hole in it, so I just left it pointing up. So that's that. And then down inside here, so that's the top one, that one, and then down below I have them as well. And there's just a little plastic sticking past, but not a lot, because you don't want that to rub on the radiator as well. You have it cut back enough for clearance, but you also have it sticking out enough, because how it works is it has little notches in it, so you don't want to cut it so short, because then it might not be as secure. I was also able to pull the radiator up. So pushed it forward and pulled it up out of its bottom piece just a little, and that helped push it forward even more, just to get my chubby hands down there. But I think that's it. It is secure. So now I'm going to go under and put that last line on, cut it to size, and then we'll just make sure that it's not rubbing on anything sharp, any of these sharp edges. I know right here where the condenser, where that condenser line is, it hits right there. So I'm going to figure something out there so it doesn't rub a hole in it. But if it's a blunt side, like a curved piece of the metal, I'm not so worried about that. I'm more worried about any of these sharp edges. So now we're going to pull this one off, the one closest to the left-hand side or the driver's side. Lighting's probably not going to be the best. Just take my pliers, pull that clamp off. It should just pop off pretty easy. Again, I have a catch pan underneath. Oh my goodness. Twisting and pulling, that's the ticket. There we go. All right, so this whole line can just be snaked out. There we go. Don't need it anymore. And so this is our new hose. I'm gonna go up, we're gonna see how much we need first before I cut it. All right, that looks good. cut it to length. Put our hose clamp on. Little silicone paste. All right, slip it on. Hopefully I didn't cut it too short. A little bit of a challenge. So with one pair of pliers I'm pushing, with the other I'm twisting. Seems to be working pretty good. There we go. All right, put the hose clamp on. All right. Put the other one back where it was. All right, everything looks good. I'm gonna wipe things down under here, get it all nice and clean so we can look for leaks. Then we're gonna go up top, just double check things, and then start it up. So where that condenser line goes in, how I fixed that spot is I took a piece of this rubber hose, cut it, and then sliced it down the middle and just wrapped it around the bottom and then zip tied it. So it's a double thick right there. And I think that should be enough because it's not really touching, but if for some reason it does touch in the future, you don't want it to rub through. But I think that'll be good enough. All right, let's fire it up, check for leaks, and then we're ready to slap everything back together. All right, we started it up, did the leak check, everything looked good. Now you don't have to run it through the gears. You can if you want, put it in reverse, put it in drive, and back to park. But even with it in park, the transmission oil pump will be circulating. So that should be enough just to check for leaks. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead, put the bumper on. We're gonna do that high speed, and this car is complete. All right, there we go, start to finish. Now I've never done one of these before, so my first time it did take me about 2.5 hours. That is with filming, but not too bad considering what you get by doing this. Your transmission will thank you, especially if you're towing things. If you've done one of these before, or through watching this video, you have seen maybe some things that could have been done better, more efficiently, by all means, comment down below. We'd love to learn from what you have to say. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful in some way. Like, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.